Hey, boys and girls, Squee913 here with Inferno Canuck.
Hello, everyone.
And welcome to Let's Read Lone Wolf, the first book of the Grandmaster series, The Plague Lords of Rule. And shame on you guys. Shame on you guys for not voting.
That's true.
Why.
And also shame on you, Squee, for not screen sharing with me.
No. No, I am.
Are you?
No, I'm not.
Do you want to start that over again?
No.
No? Okay, sweet. We're going to go with it.
Woo,
we're doing it live.
We're doing it live. I always go with it. I almost never hide my I want people to understand that I'm not
Amazing.
amazing, yes. So, but no, seriously, I've had more people vote for just some random book, and this is the first book of, I mean, this is one of the books where you have the most choice, and I had literally like 4 people vote.
Well, that just means we get to have all the fun. There's all this room for us to dance around in and unleash our summer sword.
It does indeed. I would ask that you obviously unleash the summer sword only when necessary, otherwise we will blow through this book like it's no business.
Fine.
So here's what we're going to do. There were 3 skills that had more than 1 vote. We will take those 3 skills and then we will give Inferno the choice of the last skill. Also, do you still have the forums up, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, so let's handle those one at a time. What are the 3 skills that had more than 1 vote?
When I said I had it open, I did not.
Crap,
no,
quick,
I had
distract
the weapon. I had the weapon skill open. I didn't have
Alright,
the
quick,
choice.
I'll dance to distract him while you open it.
I got it.
Okay.
Alright. Grand Weapon Mastery was selected.
Right.
Grand Hunt Mastery was selected. And Magi Magic was selected.
All
Those
right.
are the ones that had more than 1 vote.
So
The
those are
one
the
that
3 that we will take. Now, don't worry about the others because it's just too much of a tie. So I'm going to let you choose any of the others that you prefer. Are there any that you need a refresher on? Of course, Animal Mastery is easy enough to understand. Semblance...
You know,
Uh-huh.
I remember them.
Okay.
You know what? Just for the sake of doing things a little different, I like the idea of this kind of new power, this Kai Alchemy. I'd like to give that a shot.
Okay, so we're going to be very magic-oriented. That's nice.
Yeah.
I have to be honest. I have never done a run through a Lone Wolf where I had both magics so early.
There you go.
However, I will also point out that we no longer heal, so you could be killing us.
I figured though we were so goddamn OP that we can wait to heal.
We'll see how that works exactly. I gotta go back into the book and look and see if it actually shows you what spells you have.
Ooh.
Let's see.
Is there a magic missile?
I want to cast magic missile of the darkness.
I want to cast Mordenkainen's Faithful Watchdog. Can't do that. You don't have the spell components, etc.
I said I want to cast it, but you didn't actually say it. Oh, good times.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, when you have a moment, YouTube up the Dead Alewives and Dungeons and Dragons, and you will soon
Actually,
hear
there's
it.
a much better one too that someone actually made. The company that made like Red Faction and the Summoner, those old games,
Yeah.
actually took
They
all
did an
their
animated
video game characters and made the skit with them. It's so much funnier because like the guy that's in the bar there, if I have a +5 for
Cheetos.
ogres, where are the Cheetos? It's like a giant monster.
Wow.
All right, let's see. I'm trying to see if it doesn't say. It says, you know, that you have Old Kingdom magic and Left Hand magic, but it doesn't actually. Later on, when you get like improved disciplines, it'll tell you your new spells. But I guess for now, we just don't know. Can you go to the what weapons were selected?
Yes, I can, Squee. Yes, I can. Weapon skill. There we go. All right. So we had the bow that had 3 votes, and then we have sword, spear, and broadsword, which all got 1 vote.
All right, I'm gonna do this just to make it kind of fun. You pick one, and then we'll go to see what they voted on for equipment.
Okay. Sword.
Okay.
I mean, there's no point of us having a goddamn summer sword if we don't know how to wield it like a badass.
You're holding it upside down.
It's okay. It's cool. I got this.
Okay, and then if you could go to the equipment and see what they voted. We can take 5 things. See what the
There's
top 5 votes
equipment.
are.
I didn't even know that. All right. Oh yeah, equipment vote. Sweet. You want to know what they voted for?
Yes.
A quiver. These all had 2 votes.
Okay.
A
So we
quiver.
have 6 arrows.
4 meals.
Okay, hang on. Let me type that in real quick. So, meals.
4.
Meals. Oh, I always spell my meals plural. In this. And why did my music stop? I demand to know why my music stopped. There we go. Alright. Okay, 4 meals.
Rope.
Yay, rope.
And oh, are you good?
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
good.
And potion of
Lampsfur, I believe.
Lomsur
Yeah.
is which gives you the +4 endurance.
Mm-hmm.
And then you said we could select 5,
Right, that's
right?
4, so we got 1 more. Then you can just choose one at your leisure.
Okay. Can we get another potion?
No, they only have 1 potion.
All right. Well, then the choice is sword, axe, spear, or dagger. You know what? For the sake of being different, let's take a dagger. That's always a good secondary
I would
weapon.
say that you don't have a sword other than the summer sword, and I try and limit the summer sword's use for when we really badly need it. So if you want to use your weapon master,
so then a sword.
yeah, I was gonna say, because otherwise, I mean, your combat skill would just outclass everything except for bosses.
You say this like it's a bad thing, Squeak.
All right. Okay, so I'm messing with the special items as well.
Yeah.
Just because. Okay, so we have the summer sword, the sword of Cregan School, the silver bow, the silver helm, the shield, the dagger of Big V, the silver bracers, and a quiver.
Now remember those bonuses. I don't think completely transfer over, so you want to make sure that little plus button and the asterisk button, doesn't give you additional shit
Right.
for what was already there.
Right. No, we're still good at the same, because I haven't actually moved anything except for my quiver. I just erased some stuff. So right now our combat skill is 48. Our endurance is 49. We have 21 crowns because that's where the random number table hates us, and a sword, 4 meals, a rope, a potion +4, a quiver, a bow, of course, a silver bow, and a sword. Now, when in the adventure, we have space for 1 more weapon if you want to pick a weapon up later on. So
okay.
All right, so we're good. Let's roll right into this, shall we?
We shall.
I don't remember if the Grand Kai books had originally they had a section cut out, like basically like a whole nother route to wherever you're going or whatnot. That was cut out of the original releases, and apparently they put them back in. I don't know if they put them back in on these online books or not, but if they did, it'll be interesting because I've never read those before.
Gotcha. Ever since you minimized that window, though, Squee, I can't see anything. I can just see this blue and white bar across my screen.
Oh, you know why? Okay, I remember now. I'm just gonna show the entire screen with you because I remember. Otherwise, whenever we do battles, you won't be able to see it anyway. So we'll just do that.
I'll be blind. I will be battle blind.
Can you?
Yes, I can see everything.
Right. Here we go. Grandmaster. ... The quest must begin without delay, for time is not our ally, says Lord Remora, as he paces nervously back and forth across the flagstone floor of your monastery chamber. You voice your agreement, and call upon your wise friend to counsel you as best he can about the mission you have undertaken. Not entirely to your surprise, you learn that he has already made preparation, confident in the knowledge that you would agree to this dangerous quest. Wait, they say that's like a good thing. Isn't that kind of like manipulation? Oh, I've already made these... I already made the plans.
Meh. Maybe he's like a travel advisor.
He has arranged for you to travel to the Freeland, a Polymaran, where a guide is waiting to escort you to rule. Oh, the free land of Palimaran.
Yeah.
The guide can guarantee safe passage to the borders of the Dark Realm, but no further. Rimura tells you that little is known of Rule, save that the unnatural forest which surrounds and protects the Serenese stronghold of Mogaruth harbors creatures that are the stuff of nightmares.
Sweet.
Some almost defy description. The poor wretches who survived the last ill-conceived, ill-fated invasion of Rule spoke of their encounters with gigantic, acid-spitting worms that rose up out of the ground without warning and devoured whole regiments of their comrades in a single stroke. They told also of the battles that were waged against ferocious packs of disease-ridden rat creatures called the Vazhag. The Serenese breed these sentient vermin in warrens deep below Morgoth. It would then release them into the forest to patrol and gather food for even viler abominations that rarely venture beyond the walls of their stronghold. Truly, I wish that I were able to tell you more, Lone Wolf, but so little is known of Rule. It is a dark and sinister place, yet there is something else, something that I can give you which will aid your quest, says Rimura, and he holds out his hand. In the palm is a phial of green liquid, the vaccine that will at least protect you from the plague which threatens to destroy so much of your beloved world. You take it, uncork it, and then run like mad.
And be like, no, wait, don't drink it yet!
You're like, screw you bitches, I'm safe! Woo! You're like slapping your students down the hall. Ha ha!
That cure was only good for 24 hours. You have to hurry. Alright,
you uncork it and then quickly swallow the bitter contents. Unexpectedly, your stomach rebels with a wave of nausea rises up, which makes you slap a hand over your mouth. A few moments later, the nausea fades and you are able to remove your hand and speak. You didn't get me cherry flavored? How long will it protect me? You ask queasily. Really? After you drink it?
Yeah, I was about to say, that's something you ask beforehand. If he's like 2 hours, you'd be like, ah, shit, you got any more?
It's so funny. In one hand, he's become this badass warrior. On the other hand, he's still the same guy that ran into trees.
Yeah. You know, you can take the tree out of the man, but you can't take the man out of the tree.
Remember smiles. Oh, I'm sure you'll be safe for some considerable time. I'm naturally being vague because we really don't know. Lone Wolf, I'm afraid I forgot to mention that the phial contained a concentrated vaccine more than sufficient to protect 100 men. Did you test this?
Well, this adventure is going to a great start.
It's like, do we know the long-term side effects of such a high dose of vaccine? I'm pretty sure if you gave someone the flu vaccination for 100 people...
Your heart would stop.
Nah, it's good. We'll be fine. Within the space of a few short hours, you are ready to begin your long journey south to Palimaran. Having entrusted the monastery to the care of the Kai Masters, you and Lord Rimura leave by means of a secret tunnel. One of several that you have had constructed to enable you to enter and leave the monastery unobserved. You emerge in a clearing at the heart of the Freyland Forest, at a place where the Guildmaster Baindon is waiting patiently to welcome aboard Skyrider, his flying ship. Here you take time to bid farewell to Lord Rimura, who will await your return at the monastery before climbing aboard and placing yourself at the charge of your own old friend Baindon. Mr. I Know Everybody. Baindon issues the order to his dwarven crew to set a course for Palimaran. Then, couldn't we just fly over this stronghold and drop you? Then, as the hum of the craft's powerful engines rises in pitch, he ushers you into his cabin where a welcoming meal awaits. Effortlessly, the Skyrider ascends into the moonless sky and speeds southwards across Summerland's forest heartland, while you endeavor to enjoy your friend's good food and company and try not to dwell too much on the daunting task that lies ahead. Excuse me. Together, you reminisce about past times spent aboard the Skyrider and recall the adventures you shared in faraway lands of Anari and Vasagonia. A few hours later, as your airborne voyage is nearing completion, the conversation turns to the quest at hand. Baindon tells you that you are bound for the Palimaran city of Holana, where your guide, Captain Siramain, is patiently awaiting...
Siramain, yeah.
Yeah, I always wonder if it's a C or a C sound or a S sound. It's always... But we'll go with Siramain. is patiently awaiting your arrival. At once you recognize the name. You recall having heard tale of the captain's feats of bravery during the Darklands War, where his actions won more than a single battle and earned him commendations from more than a dozen freeland nations. Lord Rimmerwa has served you well, for in all of Magnamund you could not have wished for a better guide than Sirame. I don't know. I could think of a couple off the top of my head. It is an hour after midnight when the Skyrider passes over the glimmering waters of the river Reloni, and descends towards the flat-roofed Canatarium.
Canatarium.
I swear this book is designed just to make me look bad. The largest of Holana's 8 municipal halls. There you are greeted by the captain, a man whose proud face bears the scars of his many battles. He offers his hand in friendship, and you are mildly shocked when your fingers close around a palm of crafted of cold steel. A keepsake from the Battle of Valinio, he says, raising his metal hand so that you may inspect it in the light of the Skyrider's bow lanterns. Alas, the first was stolen away by a Drakar's axe. Captain Siramain is eager to leave Holana before sunrise. His carriage awaits to take you south to his command at Stonewatch, a military fortification which stands within sight of the Forest of Rule. Before you leave, Baindon wishes you success and Godspeed. He and his crew will be awaiting you here in Holana in readiness to return you to Summerland once the quest has been accomplished. You bid your old friend a fond farewell and then settle yourself down into the plush comfort of the captain's carriage. Oh, okay, really? Baindon is supposed to be a very powerful sorcerer, but he's just going to sit there, wait for you?
Let's see how it develops.
I can just picture Lone Wolf going, why don't you come? No, we got to stay here.
I'm good. I got
you drank all the vaccine, now, so. You jerk.
That's probably it, actually. You joke, but that's probably it. They would die.
For 4 hours, you are lost in dreamless slumber as the carriage winds its way across 100 miles of open grassland trail. When next you open your eyes, it is the sight of a gray dawn breaking over the Polymaran Plain, and the sound of the sentry's war horn announcing your arrival at Stonewatch. A company of horsemen, each clad like the captain in ringmail armor and a flowering checkered tunic of crimson and blue, emerge from the outpost and ride forward to meet the carriage. The captain acknowledges their salute and watches with pride as faultlessly they change formation to escort the carriage through the outpost's stout wooden gate. Beyond lies a drill square that even at this early hour resounds to the shouts of command and the measured stamp of soldiers' feet. You disembark near a watchtower, and swiftly the captain ushers you inside and leads you to his quarters in the uppermost level. You spend the day in his company, and together you discuss your approach to Mogarath while you wait for night to fall. After careful study of his maps, the captain proposes 2 possible routes by which you can reach the Serenity stronghold. The most direct way is to enter the Forest of Rule and journey due east. This is by far the shortest way, but it could also prove the most perilous. You recall Rimmerwa's account of what lurks in the dread forest, and the memory alone is enough to send a shiver coursing down your spine. The alternative is a journey southwards into the Skrados Mountains and into one of the many subterranean passages that pass through the range. If you can find your way to the Skrados Trail, a secret route by which the Sirenes enter and leave their realm, you should be able to follow it all the way to Mogarath. Consult the map before making your decision. Now this is interesting.
Ooh, okay.
So they did add stuff because this choice was not in the original book. You had to take just one path.
Well, there you go.
I'm not going to tell you which, so that I don't want to influence your...
No, don't.
So we're right here at Stonewatch. You can either go through the Forest of Rule, or you can go through the mountains and find a subterranean passage.
You know, at first I thought, yeah, the forest. I mean, we're badasses and stuff like that. But the fact that you could actually approach there through a kind of a secret tunnel type of thing, it might take extra time. But we're not going to do anyone any favors if we show up there either dead or
like missing a leg. But I'm here.
Considering we only have one healing potion and no healing Kai ability, I think we're gonna go via the Skardos Mountains.
They made you go through
Oh,
the
there you
forest.
go.
All right, a little after midnight, you and the Captain Siramane ride out of Stonewatch on the backs of two swift Slovarian steeds. It is another moonless night, and the plain is shrouded by darkness, yet you have no difficulty in seeing the terrain that lies ahead. Using your natural Magnakai skill of hunt mastery, every flowing contour of grassland south of Stonewatch is revealed to your eagle eyes. The captain is not so gifted and keeps running into things. However, the special spectacles he wears fully compensate for his lack of night vision. They were a token of gratitude from their Archchief of Chaman for his services in defense of the city of Gleesh during the war against the Dark Lords, and they have often been of use to him when scouting the country's border with rule. I get the impression that this guy is like one of those, oh, I also have this pogo stick. It's been very helpful. I got it during the Battle of Tyrannies.
He's like Batman. He has a
Everything
utility
came from
belt.
some battle somewhere.
I love Captain Batman.
It
He's
takes
the
an
best.
hour to reach the foothills of the Skardos Mountains. Here, the fertile grassland of Palimaran give way to hilly, weed-choked terrain, which is broken by deep canyons and sharp, frowning cliffs. In the pitch blackness, your eyes pick out the trail that loops down the rugged slopes towards the deep canyon floor. The captain takes the lead, and you follow closely as it descends towards the mouth of a narrow gorge, situated at the far end of the canyon. Within this gorge, the trail writhes and twists like the track of a serpent as it cuts its way between two towering walls of solid rock. Strange, animal-like sounds issue from the hollows in the rock high above, and you feel a chill of premonition as you ride deeper into the unwelcoming gorge. At length, the trail widens and divides into two. The captain veers left, and within a few moments you espy a fissure in the rock wall ahead. Silently, you dismount and approach the opening with caution. Yonder passage leads to the Skardos Trail, whispers Captain Siramane. It is a sure route to Morgoth, but one that is perilous in the extreme. More than a dozen of my bravest scouts have ventured here, alas, never to return. You would not be thought faint-hearted if you were to forego entry and ride back with me to Stonewatch. I will return to your fortress, Captain, you reply, your voice quite resolute, but not until my task at Morgoth has been completed. Captain Batman smiles and raises his steely hand in salute to your brave determination. Very well, my lord, so be it. Until the glad day dawns, I shall pray for your safety and success. Well, so much for choosing the less dangerous path.
I was about to say. Well, it's just slightly less dangerous.
Then he brings his horse about, takes yours by the reins, and bids you farewell before turning back to Stonewatch. May the gods watch over you and deliver us swiftly from the darkness of Morgoth. I have to say, I think he is one of the few companions you've ever had that made it out of this adventure alive. They don't call you Lone Wolf for nothing. You return his salute and watch as he rides along the gorge with your steed in tow. The moment he passes out of sight, you turn around and steel yourself to enter the gloomy fissure.
For some reason, like, Happy Wolf with all his friends does not make an interesting title.
Au contraire. Hang on, I'm gonna stop recording. Sorry, I had to enter in our combat skill and endurance points and stuff because it said we were dead.
Oh, that's important. We don't want to be dead.
Beyond the narrow opening, you discover a dusty passage sandwiched between two walls of rough, unyielding stone. Worm cast and a myriad of animal tracks mark the surface of the dirt floor, revealing at once to your expert eye that no creature larger than a domestic cat has trodden the floor of this passage in the past 3 months. Confidently, you explore and unhindered by the darkness, you experience no difficulty in following this sinuous course towards the heart of the Skardos Mountains. You have been walking for 2 miles before you reach a junction where a wider tunnel leads away, both to the east and the west. Unlike the passage, this tunnel has been excavated from the rock, and its walls still bear the scars of shovels and picks. Your Magnakai sense of divination reveals no imminent dangers, and your pathmanship can detect no unusual tracks. Oh, I just realized I have to add 5 to our combat skill because we have a sword and weapon mastery in sword. So we actually have a combat skill of 53.
Sweet. And we also have Grand Hunt Mastery.
We do. So, yay. Your powerful senses detect a tang of fresh water on the air. This is wafting gently towards you from out of the east tunnel. The source is distant, more than a mile away at least. Do you wish to investigate the east tunnel or to explore the west tunnel?
Fresh water. That's important. Yeah, well, let's go down the east tunnel. I think that's a significant clue.
Yeah, I was going to say. I mean, if your senses told you. Otherwise, what's the point of even having that page there?
It could be a trap.
It's just a big troll face. The tunnel continues for more than a mile before it descends by means of a steep staircase to another passageway, over 100 feet below the first. Here the air is full of fine dust and you can hear small scratching sounds coming from inside the walls. In the dark distance, you see clearly a score of crab-like creatures grouped in circles on the tunnel floor. Their shells are bone white, and you hazard a guess that these strange crustaceans have probably never been exposed to the sun. At your approach, they scuttle up the walls with surprising speed and disappear into funnel-shaped holes that riddle the ceiling. Confident that the crabs have taken fright and fled, you advance along the tunnel towards another staircase, the top of which you can just discern in the fair distance. You are passing beneath the crab holes when you hear a faint hissing noise, and suddenly you feel droplets of sticky clear liquid splattering your head and shoulders. Then wisps of gray smoke arise from your cloak, and you feel a searing pain as if a fistful of red-hot needles were being stabbed repeatedly into your scalp. You're beginning to being attacked by a powerful organic acid that is rapidly eating its way into your flesh. Do you possess Grand Nexus?
Nope.
Nope. In desperation, you muster your Magnakai skills and try to neutralize the terrible effects of the acid. At once, the searing pain abates, and your skills are insufficient to rectify the damage you have already sustained. Lose 8 endurance points.
Oh god. Why is this better than the forest? Probably isn't.
Cursing your luck, you hurry along the tunnel away from this deadly shower. You reach the distant staircase and stop to cut away the parts of your cloak and tunic that have been eaten by the acid. To your dismay, you find that your scalp and tunic are not the only things that have been damaged. There is a smoldering hole in the top of your backpack, and when you check the contents, you discover that 2 items have been corroded beyond repair. Erase from your action chart those items which you have noticed first and third on your list of backpack items.
No, not first and third. Not our meals and our meals.
No, not our meals and our meals.
At least it wasn't our potion. Oh my god, that would have been horrible.
Well, it's a good thing they chose that because we don't normally need meals. So basically, they provided cannon fodder for us.
Yes, thank you.
Yay! Our meals and our meals. Feeling unsettled by your close encounter with the deadly acid-spitting tunnel crabs, you unsheath your weapon and descend the staircase with renewed caution. 60 steps later, you arrive at a small cavern where the 3 tunnels converge from the north, the south, and the west. There are many tracks on the dusty floor, and your Magnakai hunting skills enable you to read them with ease. They are confined to the west and south tunnels, and judging by their size and depth, they were made by a large rat-like creatures, the ones that walk upright, like humans. From what you have been told about the Dizzinings of Rule, you are sure that these tracks were made by a Vazhag, the warrior vermin bred by the Sirenese. Among their tracks, you note others that are far from rat-like. You are about to examine these a little closer when suddenly you hear the sounds of movement echoing from the west tunnel. A group of creatures are approaching. At once, you abandon your tracking and look around for somewhere to hide.
North.
North?
Yep. Where the tracks aren't, which means they don't go there.
Makes sense, makes sense. Alright, you press yourself into a hollow in the north tunnel wall and wait with bated breath as the sounds of the approaching group grows louder and nearer. Torchlight flickers, casting a watery yellow beam across the cavern floor. Then the first of the group enters, and you catch sight of the repulsive forms. A patrol of 6 Vazhag file into the cavern. Each of them is as tall as a Summerlund in youth, and all are armed with crude, rusty weapons. Fragments of armor and uniforms which once belonged to human soldiers encase their hairy, rat-like bodies. They are more than 20 feet away from your hiding place, but even so, they give off such a vile aroma of filth and disease that you are forced to draw upon your Magna discipline of Nexus to prevent you yourself from retching out loud. Well, that's pleasant. They halt at the foot of the stone stairs and communicate with each other in high-pitched squeals, which reminds you of rusty door hinges. And repeatedly they cast furtive glances along the west tunnel, as if they were waiting for another of their party to catch up. Within minutes, another member of their party patrol does arrive, only this creature is not of their breed. It is a human size. However, the hooded scarlet robe it is wearing makes it difficult for you to be absolutely sure that the creature within is human. The Vazhag cease their squealing when the hooded one raises his gloved hand and motions to the south tunnel. For an instant, you catch a glimpse of a glassy green mask that is covering his face, and at once you recognize the mask. It is a Jazak, the ritual mask of a Cyrenir druid. If you wish to ambush the patrol, or if you choose to allow them to leave.
This is one heck of a choice.
Decisions.
Yeah, I don't know about fighting them, considering we are weak from the acid and we got a long way to go.
We're more bald now.
Yeah, however, there is a druid there. We could probably get some clues about them from their body, but the problem is that there's... How many did they say? Like 20 of them?
6. No. 6 rats and the druid.
6 rats and the druid. It's an ambush, too. Yeah, let's ambush them.
Sweet. Let's do this. This is going to be a big mistake, but who cares? I mean, I don't know, but still. Without a sound, you raise your weapon and tense yourself in readiness to strike. The Vazhag and the Cyrenir are unaware of your presence, and as they move to enter the south tunnel, they turn their backs on where you're hiding. It is a fatal mistake, for in this instance, you launch your attack. Like a tiger hungry for prey, swiftly and silently, you bound into the cavern and strike down the 2 nearest ratmen with one scathing blow. A mighty kick sends the 3rd Vazhag crashing headfirst into the cavern wall, and a backhand slash puts paid to the 4th of their number, nearly parting this disease-riddled head from its shoulders. Shocked and confused, the remaining Vazhag fumble ineptly with their weapons, whilst the Cyrenir screams frantically at them to avenge their slain comrades. With ease, you duck a whistling sword stroke, then dispatch the beast with a lightning-fast stab to its heart. Your strike is executed with such economy of movement that to the druid and the remaining Vazhag, it looks as if you hardly moved at all. For the Vazhag it is the last straw, and with a squeal of terror, it drops its torch and rusty blade and scurries for the dark safety of the south tunnel.
Smart.
Yeah. Cursing violently, the Cyrenir retreats until his red-robed back is pressed flat against the cavern wall. His mask hides his entire face, yet even so, you can sense the blazing hatred that is pouring from his eyes, as if it were a stream of liquid fire. You raise your weapon in advance, eager to finish the druid swiftly, but you are halted by a sudden unexpected pulse of psychic energy that crashes like a wave into your mind. Guess what we don't have?
Sky screen?
I was going to say,
brain damages.
I was going to say, overall, though, nice choice. That was a very successful ambush. Didn't even have to fight that one.
Yeah.
Your psychic defenses buckle under the sudden onslaught, and a wave of red-hot pain sweeps unchecked through your mind. Lose 5 endurance points.
Yeah.
Yay!
Oh, boy.
You know what I might do? Well, no.
What?
I was going to say, if things get really bad, start using the Magna healing. But no, that was the whole point of choosing curing or not. We will live or we will die by our choices.
That's true.
Almost immediately, you muster your psychic Magna skills and the pain melts away, but the attack leaves you shivering with psychic shock. Seeing a slender advantage, the druid acts quickly to exploit it. He draws a dagger from inside his robes and hurls himself forward in a desperate attempt to drive it into your heart. Oh god. Combat skill 23.
Yeah, doesn't have a chance.
Owing to the speed and desperation of his attack, reduce your combat skill by 20 points for the first round of this combat only.
Oh, it's still 33.
Well, even when you catch us by surprise, you have no chance.
Yeah.
Alright, so he has 23, and his endurance is 27. Alright, let's fight one round. He took 18 damage and we took none. Even with...
Excellent.
He's like, I got him now!
So cancel. Yeah, and I didn't. I want our super bonus after this.
Alright.
Remember? Because now that's after the first round.
Yep. Alright, you decided to stop fighting after one round. Okay, so I'm still... He took 18, so he's now at 18... Let's see. 17... 9. And we're back up to 53.
Goodbye, ugly.
And you defeated your enemy. Your combat ratio is 30. Combat lasted 1 round. Goodbye.
Alright, maybe he had some swag on him.
I feel bad for him, actually. I caught him by surprise. Oh my god, my arm. Within with a thin, gurgling scream, the Cyrenaer clutches at his fatal wounds and slides slowly down the cavern wall. As he crumples onto the floor, he raises his hand, and in a last defiant gesture, he lunges out to scratch at your leg. You step back and avoid the sharp, cat-like claws which have suddenly sprouted from the tips of his gloved fingers, and these poison barbs inject their venom harmlessly upon the dusty floor. Once you are sure that the druid is no longer alive, curiosity prompts you to prise away the green mask and look upon the face of the servant of evil. It is an ugly, disease-pocked face, human in shape yet lacking any trace of humanity. Before leaving the cavern, you decide to search him and his Vazhag escorts, and you discover the following items: a dagger, the Cyrenaer's robe, it'll occupy 2 spots in your backpack, the Cyrenaer mask, 16 loon, and a sword.
Sweet. I say we should take the dagger as a secondary weapon, just in case. Well, since we have the backpack space, since our meals are completely gone, let's take the center robe and the center mask. I don't know if we need the money. We might as well take the money. It's not going to hurt us. It's not going to take any backpack space.
Why wouldn't you take the money?
Yeah.
Alright, let's move the meals up. And then we'll do robe, mask, dagger, and 16 loon is what it said?
Yes, well, yeah, 16 loon, yeah.
So we took pretty much everything. We left him naked with a sword.
Sweet. Yep.
Yay! You hide the bodies of your slain enemies as best you can before you leave the cavern. For more than 5 miles, you follow the west tunnel, and despite your mounting fears, you encounter nothing more threatening than a few ragged winged bats and a frightened rock snake. Gradually, as the tunnel delves deeper into the Skardos range, the air becomes increasingly cooler and more humid. You can smell the scent of water somewhere in the distance, and you are not at all surprised when you round a bend in the tunnel. You see shimmering reflections playing upon the rough stone ceiling. If you possess something we don't.
Something that we don't possess.
So we'll go here. Slowly you advance towards the shimmering lights, and as the tunnel begins to level off in the distance, you see that it opens out into a huge cave. The shimmering is caused by a line of glowing beacons hung by chains from a vault-like ceiling of the cave. Their warm amber light is reflecting upon the cold, dark waters of the lake. At first, it appears to be no way to cross the lake, but as you draw nearer to the tunnel's end, you see a spur of rock and a raised drawbridge on the opposite side. On the near side, close to the platform upon which the bridge rests when lowered, there stands a large iron cage filled with giant frog-like creatures. These must be Zargs of Lord Rimmer spoke of, the scouts bred by the Cyrenaers to guide them through the swamps of Charon. A pair of Vazhag are teasing and taunting the Zargs with sharpened sticks, jabbing through the crisscross bars of their rusty cage. After a while, the rat men tire of their spiteful game. Casually, they cast their sticks into the lake and then settle themselves down onto the muddy shore. The larger of the two produces a hunch of maggoty meat from a haversack slung over its shoulder, and eagerly the two Vashag proceed to devour this vile food. Both are seemingly oblivious to the hungry cries of the caged Zards. The two ratmen have only just finished their meal when a group of Vashag, accompanied by a red-robed Cyrnir druid, enter the cave through an archway on the far side of the lake. You want to ambush them too? The Cyrnir directs the Vashag to man a large capstan-like device, and as they work its creaking hoist, slowly the drawbridge begins to descend. The moment it is fully lowered, the druid and his escort come shuffling across the bridge in single file. They are about halfway over when there is a bubbling rush of water, and the surface of the lake begins to seethe as if it's boiling. A sudden fear grips the Vashag. They freeze in their tracks, twitching and squealing fitfully as they stare aghast at the frothing water. Then the Cyrnir screams at them to retreat, and they scurry back the way they came, with the two you saw earlier close on their heels. The first ones to make it back scamper to the capstan and begin to reverse it as quickly as they can. You see the bridge ropes tighten, and as with a tortured creak, the heavy wooden bridge raises off the platform. Fearing that you could be left stranded on the wrong side of the lake, you rush forward and leap for the underside of the rising drawbridge. Like a limpet, I don't even know what that is, but whatever. You fix yourself to its damp timbers as the bridge approaches the vertical. However, before the bridge is fully retracted, the Vashag abandon the capstan and flee through the archway, unaware that you are clinging to the underside of the bridge. For a moment, you are relieved that the ratmen and their druidic master have disappeared, for you had not relished the thought of them discovering you in such a vulnerable situation. Unfortunately, your relief is short-lived, because you chose the wrong path. For within seconds of their disappearance, you find yourself face to face with an object of their terror.
Oh,
Justin
boy.
Bieber.
Nope.
I mean...
Unless he's a dragon.
Well... You catch sight of something huge and gray moving just below the surface of the foaming water. For a moment it disappears, then with a mighty splash, a great scaly head emerges with two cold reptilian eyes that flare like yellow flames. It soars up from the icy depths of the lake, perched atop a neck as stout as and long as a toa tree. And here we have a picture of a pretty beast coming to kill us.
His name is
Yay.
Larry. He wants to say hi.
One-handedly, you struggle to unsheath your weapon as the feral-eyed beast hovers above you, its open mouth set with jagged, jet-black fangs. Hungrily, it watches you, and a rumble of issues from the gullet as it steadies itself to strike. Alright, so, combat skill 43, endurance 56. Owing to your precarious position, you must reduce your combat skill by 5 points for the duration of this fight. If the weapon you're using is a broadsword, a spear, or a quarterstaff, reduce your combat skill by a further 3 points. The creature is immune to Mind Blast.
Okay, but not Psy Surge or Kai Surge. Now, those are both the ones that take away your endurance, right? While you fight?
Correct.
Okay.
You may evade combat after 6 rounds if it's too much for you.
Okay.
So we have to reduce this by 5, so we're down to 16.
Mm-hmm.
So our combat skill is 48, he's 43. That's still
still
not bad.
5 above it, yeah. He has way more hit points than us, though.
Yes, that is true. Alright.
And, alright, no summer sword, I guess. Let's give her a go.
Yeah, let's get it
with
on.
our regular sword.
He took 10 damage, we took 2. So
Okay.
he's down to 46, we're down to 34. He's down to 36, we're 32. He's 27, we're 30. Aha, the tables have turned. He's 16,
Yes.
we're 29. He's 6, we're 27. He's dead, and we're down to 24.
Ooh, okay.
So we lost 12. We're at 49% of our health.
Yeah, we're on pretty much 50%, yeah. Oh, but we won.
Yes, we did. Your killing blow decapitates the monstrous lake creature, Sydney, which is funny if you're using a quarterstaff.
Oh, don't forget to bring our bonus back up to
Oh,
21.
yes, thank you.
No
It would be
problem.
funny you're using a staff and you decapitate it somehow. Like it's a one hell of a blow.
Yeah.
Alright, your killing blow decapitates the monstrous lake creature, sending its vile head with its fanged jaws still clashing madly, spinning through the air to splash into the foam-flecked waters close to the platform. For a few moments, the wavering neck, its scaly stump oozing reptilian gore, thrashes the surface before it, too, is swallowed by the cold, dark waters of this underground lake. Aching and breathless, you sheath your weapon and wipe the splatterings of Toldar
Yeah.
blood from your face with the back of your trembling hand. The Zargs who were silent throughout your titanic struggle with the lake monster now rattle the bars of their cage and croak incessantly. You recognize their crude language enough to realize that their captors are returning. However, before you can act on their warning, a shutter runs through the timbers of the drawbridge, and you are forced to grip tightly with both hands as jerkily it begins to descend. Inexorably, the bridge approaches the platform, inching you nearer and nearer the cold, blood-stained waters of the lake. If you wish, you can... what a predicament we find ourselves in. You can leap for the shore of the lake before the drawbridge fully descends, or you can remain where you are and cling to the underside of the bridge.
You know what? Let's be all sneaky. Let's cling to the underside of the bridge.
I'm sneaky. Hanging by your fingertips to the underside of the descending drawbridge, you are slowly lowered into the icy cold waters of the lake. The bridge stops with a jolt, leaving you dangling waist deep in the water and feeling all too vulnerably like a piece of Toldar bait.
But we killed it, so we're good.
As long as it doesn't have a brother. You hear the rasp of clawed feet scurrying across the bridge, and a voice, unmistakably Sirenese, echoes from the opposite side of the cave. Despite the pain in your fingers and forearms, you remain absolutely motionless as the rat-like Vazag cross the bridge and descend to the muddy shore. One or two remain on the bridge directly above you, and you can see them through the cracks in the timbers. They are squeaking and pointing at the oily green pools of blood that stain the surface of the lake. Drawn by their comrades squeaking, you see two Vazhag leap from the platform and pad down towards the water's edge. If you possess a semblance, do we have that one?
I don't know what the heck a semblance is.
Oh, it's invisibility. No, we do not.
Oh, nope. We are visible.
If we are very visible. Anxious to avoid being seen by the approaching Vazhag, you release your grip and allow yourself to drop silently into the lake. The moment the cold waters close above your head, you strike out and swim underwater towards the north bank. The lake is dark and forbidding, yet your powerful sights enables you to see the contours of the lake bed as they pass beneath you. Excuse me. For the most part, the water is no more than 20 feet deep, hardly the depth capable of hiding the huge body of a Toldarg. But as you are nearing the center, you catch sight of the monster's lair. A yawning black crevice cuts a jagged line east to west along the bottom of the lake bed. A strong undercurrent and the inky blackness tell you that this watery abyss could be several hundred feet deep. You increase your stroke and swim across the crevice as swiftly as you can, fearful of what lurks in the hellish depths. Like an underwater cliff's edge, and the lake bed reappears, and beyond it you glimpse the inviting shallows of the northern bank. Sweet. Oh, random number table time!
Yay, we're gonna get a 1.
8!
Hey!
But we don't know if this is good or bad, because it's a 50-50 chance.
Oh. Let's hope it's good.
Slowly you swim towards a pair of large boulders that rest half buried in the muddy shallows of the north bank. Here you break through the waist-deep water behind the nearest rock and press yourself against its cool, smooth surface as you fight to catch your breath. Blinking the water from your eyes, you look across the lake to see a Vazhag scurrying to the south shore. They search beneath the bridge, passing within a few paces of where you are hanging only minutes before. Disappointedly, they report their lack of findings to the Sirenese commander before clambering back onto the platform. The Seonir and the remaining Vashag cross the bridge. They stop just long enough to open the Zarg cage and drag out one of the croaking creatures. Then the cage doors slam shut. Locked and briskly, the party march along the south passage. For a full minute, you remain immobile until you are sure that the enemy have gone. Then you pull yourself up onto the bridge, and without looking back, you enter the north tunnel. All that just to get to the north tunnel. All right, you follow this illuminated tunnel with your nerves on edge, your every sense stretched to breaking point to detect anything that could forewarn you of an ambush or a trap. You follow it for almost a mile, and it is not until you reach a junction where the tunnel branches off in two directions, north and south, that your vigilance and skill are finally rewarded. To the north, you detect a greasy smell of Vashag hide, and another aroma that reminds you of boiled offal. To the south, you detect a completely different stench, a sticky, gangrenous smell, rank and fetid, its origin unknown. So, north or south?
I think we're going to go with the north, because we know Vashags, and we dispatched them relatively easily before, even though we did ambush them.
Right.
I'm going to go with something that we know compared to something that we don't know.
Alright. There is a slight gradient in the tunnel, and gradually, as the stone floor ascends, you feel a draught of warm air wafting gently in your face. It feels comfortable, and yet it is far from welcoming, for the air is sticky and humid, as if the breath of some great jungle beast were being exhaled along the passageway. That's nice. In the distance, you hear a fire-like roar and another sound squeaking, which forewarns you of the Vashag lie ahead. You advance, masked by your Magnakai skills, and step forth into a massive chamber which is lit by the fierce light of volcanic fire. From a crater-like pit in the chamber center, a jet of red-gold flame roars up to a towering height. The clouds of steam fill the cavernous roof space where it plays upon the ceiling like ceiling of damp rock. Around the pit are constructed several small domed huts, all made of volcanic clinker, scavenged from the crater's edge. The huts house a colony of Vashag. You count more than 50 females and their young scurrying around the crude dwellings, and estimate that at least that number, again, could be sheltering inside. And then we have a picture.
An illustration.
An illustration of fire.
Rat People Village.
Yay!
And a fire geyser.
I wonder if they'll give us shelter.
Using
your skills and the advantage of the flickering shadows which dance upon the rough cavern walls, you circle around the settlement unseen. On the far side, there is an onion-shaped archway guarded by 6 Vashag males, all of whom are heavily armed and armored. You move a little closer, confident that your natural abilities will get you past these oversized spear-toting rodents unnoticed, but you are brought to a halt by a daunting sight. A few feet beyond the archway stands a massive portal, a wall of solid black iron. If you possess Hunt Mastery, we do.
Yay, we do.
Yay. Alright, as you inch your way towards the iron portal, your super senses alert you to a hairline crack which runs vertically through the cavern wall. You run your fingers along the seam, and your fingertips detect a faint change in air pressure. At once, you realize that you have stumbled upon a secret doorway. Eagerly, your eyes search for the adjoining wall and floor or for a concealed latch or lever. Normally, it'll be glowing purple now that you've found the secret door. No? Okay.
Oh, sorry.
It takes a few minutes.
I was too busy paying attention.
It takes a few minutes, but eventually you detect what you are looking for. A hinged flap of stone covers a lever which is set nearby into the wall at knee height from the floor. If you wish to pull this concealed lever, or if you wish to ignore it.
Pull it. Pull it.
Alright. You pull the iron lever, and at first nothing happens. Then you hear a click followed by a hiss of escaping air as the concealed door unlocks and glides open. Quickly you enter and close the door to avoid being seen by the Vashag guards. A narrow corridor lies beyond, lit by a gloomy crimson light which is filtering through the threadbare curtain hung from the hooks in the ceiling. Automatically, you cast your eyes around, checking floor, walls, and roof for traps, but detect nothing unduly suspicious. Then you approach the curtain, and through the moth-eaten fabric you spy a small bedchamber. A grossly overweight Vasag, wrapped in furs, lies sprawled upon the divan in the center of the room. He is snoring fitfully. Around him are strewn heaps of all manner of items, rusty weapons, tarnished armor, boxes and candlestick trinkets, baubles, and books. I love baubles. People don't use that word enough.
True.
In the merchant stores of Holmgard, they would be rejected as worthless junk. But here, in the rat holes of Skarados mountains, they are no doubt passed for treasure.
Pack rats.
Yay! Across the chamber, beyond the sleeping Vasag, you see another curtained archway. If you wish to enter the chamber and search through the items which litter the floor, or if you wish to cross the chamber and investigate the archway, or if you decided to turn the way you came.
I'm tempted to look through the treasure thing, but looting might awake the fat, stupid rat, and it doesn't look like anything is fantastic. But the curiosity is gonna kill me. Let's search.
I was gonna say
items.
he is fat and stupid, so.
And sleeping. And we're a goddamn Ninja Kai master.
Hell yeah, we are. Carefully, we just killed a giant dragon hanging to a drawbridge.
Yeah, I think we can deal with fat ass, morbid obese.
Fat ass McGee.
Fat ass McGee.
Carefully, you tiptoe around the divan, taking care not to make any noise that would wake the recumbent Vashag. A search of the various items confirms your first impression. It's crap. It's nothing more than a hoard of junk. From the hundreds of pieces, you manage to sift through the following, few of which could be of some use to you in your quest. A sword, a dagger, 16 loon, a pouch of tobacco, a rope, and a copper bowl.
Let's take the loon. Might as well.
Right.
And you know what? Just for shits and giggles, considering we never used the pipe and tobacco from the last bit, let's just take the pouch of tobacco.
Alright.
There's a chance that we'll ditch it, but we have the backpack space right now, so what the hell, why not? We could always deal with the smoke, maybe. Maybe.
There you go.
The bowl is interesting, but I don't think it'll get us anything.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Forgot what that last one was. I was like, you sure you don't want the bowl?
Well, no. What are we gonna do with the bowl?
What are we gonna do with the tobacco?
Smoke it? Smoke it.
With what? We don't have a bowl.
Well, we will chew it.
Alright, now pick a number on the random number table. If you possess the semblance and grand pathmanship, add 3 to the number you've chosen.
Nope.
Oh, joy.
Sweet, I think we woke the fucker
We got
up.
a 0! You know what? Better be worth it for that
he's
tobacco.
gonna be a dead rat.
Better be worth
I hope
it for
so.
that tobacco. Suddenly the Vazag...
Hey, you kept on saying the word loot.
Suddenly the Vashag stops snoring, and the silence freezes you in your tracks. The creature pries open its beady eyes, caked with dried sweat, and its whiskered nose sniffs the air suspiciously. Then, as if suddenly electrified, the pudgy rat man rolls off the divan and reaches with its paw for something hidden beneath the covers. You decide to make an escape and pull at the secret door, but it will not open. Somehow the Vashag has locked it. You turn to face... Oh my god, the music that's playing now is so peaceful. You turn to face the nervous creature, your hand on the hilt of your weapon, as you advance threateningly. In response, it darts towards a corner of the chamber and huddles there, shivering with fright. But before you can reach the Vashag and pull it to its feet, there is a sound of heavy footfalls and suddenly something comes bursting through the curtained archway. Before you now stands a gigantic dog-like creature with fiery red eyes. Its shiny blue-black hide ripples over a muscular frame, and a huge crocodile-like jaw protrudes from its cruel canine face. It is sleek and powerful, yet as it draws nearer, you see that its hide is pitted and scarred in a virulent disease. By a virulent disease. If you have a bow and arrow and wish to use them.
Yes. Let's use them. It's diseased and big. Let's kill
Instantly, you fire your bow. Instantly, your bow is in your hand, an arrow fixed and drawn ready to fire. The Vashag, no longer fearful now that its protector has arrived, moves away from the corner and issues a high-pitched command. The savage dog-like creature growls in response, and you see its muscles tighten as it gets ready to leap at your throat. If you wish to fire your bow at the growling dog-like creature, or if you decide to fire it at the Vazhag instead.
Yeah, the dog-like creature first.
Yeah, is this a tough choice here? You send your arrow whistling towards the creature's throat. A fatal wound looks certain until, at the very last moment, the beast twists aside to avoid the oncoming shaft, and with a dull thunk, the arrow skewers its shoulder. The creature roars with pain, but the injury does not deter it from attacking. With the knife-wielding Vazhag close behind, it quickly recovers, and together they rush forward to attack. Alright, we got the Pit Agarashi, who's wounded, and the Vazhag. Combat skill 30. Oh, please.
Yeah, we got this.
Alright, yeah. So combat skill 30. Yeah, it's playing the main theme from Final Fantasy VII, so completely fits the mood.
Totally.
Alright, start combat! And they're dead.
You have crushed your goddamn enemy. Love it. Your combat ratio is 23.
Just say your combat ratio is awesome.
It is awesome.
You step...
I want to smoke tobacco over their dead bodies.
You step over the bodies of your attackers and stoop to retrieve your... I thought it said bowl. Damn bowl. Taking you. Stoop to retrieve your bow. Oh, that reminds me. We got one less arrow now.
Yes.
Alright. Stoop to retrieve your bow. As you are rising, you notice a tiny box-like device hanging from the chain around the Pit Agarashi's neck. At once, your natural sixth sense informs you that this device is magical. It controlled the creature's instincts, enslaving it to the commands of the weaker Vazhag. If you wish to take this restrainer, record it as a special item on your action chart.
Okay, let's take it.
Alright.
Could prove useful. If not, we can always ditch it.
Animal make doer.
Why don't you just call it a restrainer?
I like animal make doer.
Alright.
Anxious to leave, you lift the furs which cover the divan and see protruding from the side a small lever identical to the one that opened the secret door. You pull it and the door creaks open, enabling you to escape by the way you entered.
By the way we entered. So we could have completely avoided this. I guess we wouldn't have had a restrainer.
Makes me wonder what would happen if
Or
we
be
had gone to
bad
the
at it.
curtain. Like, through the curtain, we probably would have found the dog just sitting there.
Yeah, probably.
The secret door clicks shut behind you, and you find yourself back in the vast lava-lit cavern once more. Unseen, you advance towards the iron portal and wait close by, camouflaged from the detection of by your cloak and Kaya skills. Patiently, you observe the doorway and its guards. After several minutes, the resonant boom of a metal gong echoes in some deep and distant part of the caves. As the echo slowly fades, another sound, that of metal scraping on stone, resounds around the cavern. Then a crack of light appears along the bottom of the portal, and with a grating screech, the great wall of black iron slowly raises up into the ceiling. Through the opening comes a patrol of Vazhag, who are escorting a wagon stacked high with wooden boxes, barrels, and sacks. A sudden rush of female Vazhag, all squealing and clamoring for food, brings the wagon to a halt directly beneath the onion-shaped portico. Okay. The escort struggles to fend off the hungry females with little effect until the spine-tingling screech, the portal begins to descend. A wave of panic washes over the Vazhag, and they turn and run back to the cavern, fearful of being crushed to death beneath the falling iron door. When it is just a few feet from the wagon, the portal shudders and grinds to a halt. Those few guards and Vazhag escort who remain nearby quickly rush forward to drag the wagon from beneath the portal. You notice that the females are beginning to return, and you know that you must act now if you are to escape from the cavern before the wagon is pulled clear of the iron and the iron door closes. If you have the Manichae Discipline of Nexus, or Psi Surge, or Invisibility...
We have invisibility, right? We
No,
have all
we
of these,
don't.
don't we? Magnikai Discipline?
Oh, okay. I was getting confused because I was like, well, but what do we do?
Not Grand Mastery, this is Magnikai.
Yes, we have all of these. Nexus helps control you from temperatures and put out fires and stuff. Well, actually, also it's mind over matter, so telekinetically move things. Psi Surge is you know, these are not the droids you're looking for.
Let's do invisibility.
Trusting to your Magna Chi skill of invisibility, you leave your hiding place and attempt to slip past the wagon and its struggling escort. Pick a number on the random number table. If you have this thing you don't have, add 3.
Okay, let's see. Let's see how it's gonna screw us. Oh,
hate
fuckers.
You. Damn you, that random number table generator. Damn you, Generations! Nimbly, you sidestep and dodge your way through the throng of ratmen who are gathered around the wagon in a frenzy of activity. One of the Vashag runs across your path, forcing you to halt momentarily to avoid crashing into him. But before you can continue, another of his comrades steps back from the wagon and collides with you. Swiftly, you grab the creature by its throat and stop it from warning its confederates. And then, you drag it one-handedly towards the shadowy cavern wall. Suddenly, you feel something crawling up your forearm, and a wave of revulsion knots your stomach when you see a mass of black fleas. Oh my god, coursing up your arm, migrating from the neck of the frightened Vashag. Oh, I'm just imagining that. That's... not... So... yeah.
Gross.
The ghastly sight makes you loosen your grip and allows the disease-ridden creature to squeal a desperate cry for help. As one, the guards respond to the cry. They draw their rusty weapons and narrow their tiny red eyes as they leave the wagon and advance upon you. If you wish to stand and fight, or if you wish to escape.
Stand and fight.
Okay. We ain't taking no fleas. With a sudden rush, the leading 5 Vashag fall upon you, hacking and stabbing with rust-dulled weapons. Expertly, you feint and parry their attacks, then answer their assault with such mind-numbing speed and accuracy that it is as all 5 have been dispatched with one solitary blow. Their sudden deaths cool their comrades' courage, and as the horde retreat nervously, you seize your chance to escape through the portal. Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, we're so awesome, we don't even have to do combat charts anymore.
The last time we even did combat chart, we kicked
That's
ass,
true
so.
too. When they caught us by surprise, we still kicked. A few yards along the passage, you happen upon a lever protruding from the grating on the floor. Instinct prompts you to pull it, and at once the great iron door descends to crush the wagon and seal off the lava-lit cavern. Safe now from the wrath of the ratmen, you explore this new tunnel in hopes of finding your way back to the surface. However, I should point out, we are at half health.
Yeah.
So, the passage continues eastward for several miles, and with the exception of an occasional Vashag sentry, it is virtually deserted. At length, you arrive at the entrance to another hall, smaller than the lava cavern, but equally as crowded. Daylight stems into this hall through a large archway guarded by armored Vashag, and pairs of horny-skinned war dogs which they hold on a leash. Beyond the archway, you can see a track which disappears towards the distant ridge of hills. Directly above the archway is a thin ray of sunlight. Comes streaming through a window, like a hole in the rock. Sorely aware that the main entrance is so heavily guarded that it will be very difficult, even for someone as gifted as yourself, to escape that way undetected, you resolve instead to escape by means of the smaller opening in the rock wall. Pick a number on the random number table. If you have Grand Hunt Mastery, oh, we do. Add 3.
Which we do. But watch, we're gonna get like a
5.
Oh, see, that helped
Yay.
us. That tipped the scales. Okay.
Your ascent to the gap goes undetected by the Vashag guards, and you emerge on the mountainside at a place hidden beneath the outcrop, which is ringed by wind-worn boulders and scrub. Early morning sunlight illuminates the surrounding hills, and beyond them you see a vast expanse of forest. A sea of... Oh, are we gonna have to go through the forest too?
No, I hope not.
The sea of sickly green, gray-green trees, which radiates an unmistakable aura of evil.
Oh, I think this is our destination.
I hope so. The position of the sun and your pathmanship skills inform you that you are looking upon the Forest of Rule from the eastern foothills of these Scardone Mountains. The land appears deserted, the only unusual feature being a wide dirt track which winds its way eastward through the hills towards a gap at the edge of the grim forest. You consult your map and conclude that this must be the Scardos Trail, the secret route used by the Sereners, which lead all the way to their stronghold of Morgorath. You resolve to follow the trail, but first, unless you possess the discipline of Grand Hunt Mastery, you must eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. Yeah, I think
we're good. Well, we can hunt. We're in the forest. We're no like press for time, so yeah, we're good. Hunt Mastery has turned out to be a very useful skill.
The only things we have that's turned out to be useful so far. Well, Weapon Mastery, of course. Using your camouflage skill to mask your passage, you enter the forest and follow the track into the deepening gloom. Your senses come alive to the evil that permeates every root and branch of this forbidding place, and as darkness closes in, your fears are heightened by a sickly mist which seeps out of the ground. Its corpse-like chill leaves you shivering, despite all your efforts to shield yourself from its clammy touch. You are a Grand Master... Oh, thank you for letting me know that. Night no longer restricts your vision. As the track ascends towards the wooded peak, you see the outline of the ruined stone watchtower perched atop a rocky knoll. You sense that the tower is deserted, and keen to escape from the mist, you climb towards a crack in the granite base. You crouch to enter the jagged breach, and in doing so, you disturb a host of crab creatures nestling within. In a frenzy, they skirtle away from the tower, disappearing among the surrounding rocks in a blink of an eye. Alright, aching with fatigue and mindful of the perils which still lie ahead of you, you settle yourself down in a corner of the rubble-strewn tower and try to snatch a few hours of sleep. This night, your slumber is disturbed by strange and unwholesome dreams, formed from the fears suppressed by your conscious mind. You are hunted by phantom shapes which take the form of fiends, friends and fellow countrymen, Kai initiates under your tutelage, and simple summer-learning folk, their heads bowed and their faces pitted and disfigured by plague, drift past you in a seemingly endless possession. You awake with a start, your pulse racing and your forehead glistening with beads of sweat. At first, a sense of hopelessness washes over you, brought on by the vivid memory of your nightmare. But as your consciousness returns, so does your inner strength. You perceive that the dreams are a warning of what will happen should your quest fail, and this realization strengthens your resolve to reach Morgorath and thwart the Serener evils.
The Serener's evil plan.
Thank you. You have slept for several hours, and physically at least, you are refreshed. Restore 3 endurance points.
Yay. Sweet.
Sweet indeed. Right. In the half-light of early morning, you gather together your equipment and weapons in readiness to resume your perilous journey to Morgorath. And I think that is a good place to stop for the night. We're going to, because the as you guys could obviously tell, the Kai saga, the Grand Kai saga, is much more narrative heavy. I mean, I've read like pages and pages in between decisions. So we're going to basically split these up into about at least 2 weeks. Some of the longer books, maybe 3 weeks per book. So we're going to stop this here, and we will see you guys next week when we continue our adventures. Yay! Take care, everyone.
Yay! Bye-bye.